What if we spend so much time looking ahead that we forget to stop and look back and just realise how far we've already come? Does that sound like you? Sally Crawford here, and today I want to share a few thoughts on the power of reflection. I think a lot of us become so focused on where we're trying to get to, what still needs improving, and what we haven't figured out yet, that we rarely stop and notice our own growth. You might feel lost, uncertain, or even frustrated. But when you pause and reflect honestly, you often realize, you've grown in so many ways that you didn't even notice before. I think most of us hear the word reflection and immediately we think of regret or replaying mistakes over and over in our mind and criticizing ourselves. But real reflection, it isn't about punishing yourself, for what's happened in the past. It's more about observation. Looking back with curiosity rather than shame. Instead of asking, why did I do that in a harsh way? What was I feeling there? What was I needing? And what can this teach me? One thing I've noticed is that our past mistakes don't have to define us. They can actually become really useful data points. Not proof that something's wrong with us, but information. Because when you reflect calmly without attacking yourself, emotional triggers can actually teach you something important. You start focusing on the how and the why instead of living in the I should have, known better mindset. And I think that shift changes everything because guilt tends to keep us stuck, but understanding helps us grow. I also think reflection helps build authenticity because when you truly look back, you begin to recognize just how much you've already overcome, how much you've learned, and how much you've softened through. And sometimes growth is quiet. It's not always massive achievements. Sometimes it's just simply responding differently, setting a boundary, becoming calmer in situations which once overwhelmed you, or understanding yourself more deeply than you used to. And when you notice those things, it gives you fuel to keep going, not from pressure, but from encouragement. Now, to me, reflection seems like a super lens. It allows you to see things that would otherwise have been missed, like patterns, lessons, and little shifts in yourself. Even parts of your true self that were always there beneath the noise. And that's why reflection can seem so powerful, because it turns experiences into wisdom, not wasted time. So maybe today, instead of only focusing on where you want to get to, take a moment to look back too. You might realize that you've come much further than you give yourself credit for. And maybe reflection isn't there to make us feel small. Maybe it's there just to help us see ourselves more clearly. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Do you take time to reflect? Or do you tend to stay focused on what's next? If this resonated, then I've left something for you below this video that expands on this, if you feel like exploring more. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, then you are always welcome inside the Inner Rewrite.